Imagine this. You're staring at your phone, replaying the last conversation like evidence in a courtroom. She laughed, she touched your arm, she said, "We should hang out sometime." Then the response time stretched from minutes to hours to silence. Your chest tightens, your mind starts writing excuses for her, and your thumbs draft a paragraph she hasn't earned. That's the trap. Not because you're weak, but because some women are masters at setting emotional bait. Compliments, warm glances, flirty ambiguity, then pulling back to see how much attention you'll bleed to close the gap. If you want to stop bleeding, you need to change the frame with your words, your timing, and your willingness to walk away. The right sentence isn't magic, it's a mirror. It reflects a man who doesn't need, who won't chase, who moves forward regardless. She doesn't chase because you tricked her. She chases because your clarity reorganizes her attraction. The first mistake is trying to fix confusion with more investment. You send another text to prove you're chill, another meme to keep the thread alive, another reassurance that you're not like other guys. She reads all that as one thing. You're applying for a role you don't even value yourself. She becomes HR, screening, delaying, making you wait 2 to 3 business days. You don't beat that with poems, you beat it with posture. Posture is the calm refusal to be dragged into uncertainty. When she slows down, you slow down more. When she is vague, you become precise. Here's the moment you take control. After a light, enjoyable exchange, you say, "I like your vibe. Let's grab coffee Wednesday at 7. If that doesn't work, give me another time that does." That single sentence kills ambiguity. It's direct, time-bound, and responsibility shifting. If she's interested, she proposes a time. If she's lukewarm, she'll toss you a maybe. Your response is the hinge. No stress. If you're unsure, let's skip it. I'm not big on pen pals. Then you stop. No lecture, no resentment, no let me know whenever. You reclaim your time. You protect your attention. When you're already in a push-pull, the frame reset is even cleaner. She goes cold after a hot weekend? You don't confront, you calibrate. You've been a little inconsistent. I prefer steady, not sporadic. If that's not you, all good. You say it warmly, not as a threat, but as a boundary. Boundaries are attractive not because they punish, but because they clarify the price of admission to your life. A woman who respects herself recognizes a man who respects his time. She might test it, most do. She may withdraw again to see if you panic. You won't. You mirror her pace and let the distance speak. There's a psychological lever underneath all of this that most men ignore. Scarcity. Not fake scarcity, not "I'm so busy" theater. Real scarcity is built from a life loaded with purpose, training, friends, mission. When your calendar is full of commitments you'd never cancel for lukewarm attention, your sentences become simple and light because your outcome is secure. I'm free Thursday 6 to 8, then I'm off. That reads differently than paragraphs of persuasion. It's not rude, it's masculine. Here's another line that flips the script in early dating. I don't chase, I connect. If it's mutual, great. If not, no worries. You're not calling her out, you're stating your operating system. That line works because it reframes pursuit as a mutual selection process. The men who lose themselves are the ones who volunteer for a one-sided audition. You don't audition. You invite. You evaluate. You exit if the energy doesn't match. If she uses withdrawal as control, slow replies when you show interest, fast replies when you go quiet, you don't narrate the pattern to her. You make the pattern unprofitable. Reduce your texting to logistics and warmth, not validation. Good to hear from you. I'm heading into a busy week. If you want to link Friday after 7, tell me by Thursday. Then you live your life. You don't post cryptic stories to trigger her. You don't loop friends into analysis. Make your silence expensive and your presence valuable. When you feel the urge to overinvest, run the discipline test. Does your message move the interaction forward to a real plan? If not, don't send it. Does your call have a purpose beyond soothing your anxiety? If not, don't make it. Do you want her because she's special or because she's scarce? If you're not sure, slow down until you are. Attraction rises when she senses you could take her or leave her and be fine either way. That's not coldness, it's self-possession. Sometimes she'll try to keep you in the gray with "let's see, maybe next week," or "I'm super busy." Your reply remains calm and definitive. Totally get it. I don't do maybe. Ping me when you're genuinely free. Then you stop initiating. If she's interested, that line gives her a clear door back. If she isn't, you saved weeks of your life. Either way, you win because you protected your dignity and momentum. Now ask yourself, when was the last time you stated what you want without apology? Have you ever felt her pull back and immediately chase to close the gap? What did that cost you? What would change if your default response to mixed signals was polite indifference instead of performance? Exact script line, Ian. You think the win is getting her to say yes. It isn't. The win is creating a frame where yes means something and no is cheap. Most men negotiate for a yes from a woman who's emotionally on layover. She touched down for attention, not to travel with you. So your words must make lingering expensive and momentum rewarding. After the first invitation, you don't chase clarity. You create it. You say, if this week is tight, let's skip. I'm not here for endless texting. That's not a trick, it's a filter. Watch what happens next. If her interest is real, she'll suggest a specific day. If she tries to keep you in the conversation without committing, you cut the oxygen. Cool. Hit me when you're actually free. Then you go. No follow-up, no emoji, no softening. Your silence teaches better than your speeches. When she cancels same day, the average guy performs understanding to stay likable. No worries, totally get it. Then offers 3 more options. That's self-erasure dressed as kindness. Your alternative is gracious and firm. All good. I plan ahead. Let's try another time when you're certain. Then you do nothing. The power is not in the line. It's in the discipline of not rewarding last-minute chaos. If she's serious, she returns with a solid plan. If she disappears, you dodge someone who sees you as filler. Either way, your life keeps its pace. You will be tested by silence. The urge to restore connection is primal. That's where you run the 3-step discipline drill. First, breathe and delay for 10 minutes. Feelings spike and fade faster than you think. Second, ask, does sending this message create a concrete plan? If not, it's anxiety, not strategy. Third, check alignment. Were her last 2 moves consistent with interest? If the answer is no, mirror that inconsistency with space. That is not game playing, it's emotional symmetry. Reciprocity is how adults protect themselves without drama. She might bait you with intermittent validation. A flirty story reply, a heart on your reel, a late-night hey stranger. That's not a reunion, that's a breadcrumb. Don't write a paragraph to a crumb. Convert or close. Good to hear from you. I'm free Sunday 5 to 7 for drinks. If not, no stress. If she shoots back another vague note, you end gracefully. Let's not do the almost thing. You think you're losing by letting it go. In reality, you're teaching your nervous system that your worth isn't determined by another person's attention rhythm. That confidence bleeds into your tone. Fewer words, cleaner statements, zero pleading. Sometimes she'll escalate with emotional fog. I'm just in a weird place. I need to take things slow. I'm not ready for anything serious, but I love talking to you. The weak move is to volunteer as her emotional support while pretending you're cool with it. The strong move is clarity without pressure. I respect that. I'm not looking to be a texting buddy. If it becomes real, let me know. Notice the absence of anger. You're not punishing her. You're prioritizing yourself. And notice the open door. You're not slamming it. You're simply not standing in the threshold waiting. Here's a surgical way to reset after chasing. A single message that reclaims the frame without drama. I got ahead of myself. I prefer easy reciprocity. If that's there, great. If not, be well. Then you stop. No stories, no memes, no watch checking. Give it space. If she values your energy, the reset creates attraction because it shows spine without bitterness. If she doesn't, the reset saves your time. Either outcome increases your power because you broke the compulsion to fix someone else's uncertainty. A practical diagnostic to keep you honest. Replace every maybe with no in your mind. Maybe we can hang becomes no. Maybe next week becomes no. Now look at the thread. Are you negotiating with no? Stop. You do not negotiate with no. You accept it, smile, and redirect your attention to people and pursuits that say yes cleanly. That mindset turns you from supplicant to selector. Women feel that difference. It's the same man, same face, but a different gravitational field. You move first for your mission, not for approval. Here's another verbal anchor that subtly changes everything. I like low-effort texting and high-effort in person. Say it once early, then live it. Your messages become logistics with a warm edge. Thursday 7 works, I'll pick a spot. Your calls have a point. Your availability is real but limited. This isn't coldness, it's curation. You're curating your attention like a scarce asset. When your life is full, desire becomes an invitation, not a plea. Her attraction often rises because she senses that being with you means stepping into a current, not dragging a dead riverbed. You will be misunderstood by some. People who benefit from your confusion will call your boundaries arrogance or playing games. Let them. You aren't performing indifference, you're practicing self-respect. The internal cost of chasing is bigger than loneliness. It's the quiet corrosion of your standards. Every time you beg for crumbs, you teach yourself you deserve crumbs. Every time you walk away from mixed signals, you reinforce that you're a man whose time has weight. That is the shift, from needing her energy to offering yours on terms that honor you. When was the last time you declined a maybe without explaining yourself? Which part of this hits a little too close to home? Late night chasing, over-texting, or rewarding cancellations? If she texted you right now with a breadcrumb, would you convert or close? Here's where most men lose the frame. On the date itself. You finally meet, but you show up like a salesman pitching your value instead of a man sharing his world. You over-explain your past, your plans, your intentions, because a part of you is still applying. Flip it. You open with presence, not performance. You let silence breathe. You tease lightly and observe how she handles tension. When she asks, "So what are you looking for?" you don't deliver a speech calibrated to win points. You hold your center. Genuine connection with a woman who's consistent. Chemistry matters, but so does character. Then you ask a question that reveals more than it flatters. What does a great week look like for you without someone else providing entertainment? You're not negging, you're qualifying. You're checking for self-responsibility. Attraction isn't built by agreeing, it's built by showing you have a standard. If she tests you with minor provocations, late by 15 minutes without apology, scrolling during conversation, name-dropping guys to spark competition, you don't scold or sulk. You label it, warm and clear. You seem distracted. If now's not a good time, we can reschedule. That sentence tells her you aren't a background app. If she laughs about other men, you don't audition. You shrug. You're free to explore. I don't do triangles. Then you redirect to a real topic or you wrap the date at the agreed time. Finite time communicates self-respect in a way speeches never can. You set a 60-90-minute window and you end on the upbeat. I've got an early start tomorrow. This was fun. You leave first, not to punish, but to maintain tempo. When a date goes well, your words should keep momentum without over-promising. On the walk out you say, "I like what I'm seeing. Let's do a proper dinner next week, Tuesday or Thursday." You invite, you offer two options, and you anchor it in reality. If she replies, "Let's see," you don't fill the gap with pressure. You smile. I don't do tentative. If it's a yes, text me a day that works. Then you go radio silent and live your life. If she's used to men pushing through her ambiguity, your calm certainty is disorienting in the best way. She chases not because you manipulated her, but because you left space for her desire to act. Between dates, keep your texting flavor aligned with your philosophy. Light, intentional, forward-moving. You send a callback to an inside joke, a quick voice note with a genuine laugh, then logistics. If she turns texts into therapy sessions, you shift the medium. This feels like a call conversation. I don't do heavy by text. If she declines the call and keeps dumping, you draw a line. Let's pick this up another time. You're training your nervous system to prefer clean interactions over chaotic validation hits. That discipline is the engine of your attractiveness. You will encounter the slow roller. She enjoys your energy, keeps you orbiting, but never invests. Use the two-ask rule. You invite twice with specificity. If both are met with softness or cancellations, you retire yourself from the audition. I like the vibe, but I don't pursue indefinite maybes. If it becomes a yes, you know where I am. Then you stop initiating. The third invite never leaves your phone. You'll feel the itch to send it, as if one more attempt could alchemize her into someone consistent. Treat that itch like a craving. Discipline is refusing to feed it. Here's a phrase that quietly repositions the dynamic when she accelerates and brakes. I prefer momentum over intensity. Intensity is fireworks on Friday and silence on Monday. Momentum is small, honest steps that add up. If she wants the fireworks without the steps, you let her chase the next show. Your life remains a steady drumbeat of training, craft, friends, sleep, sunlight. Structure is the antidote to emotional yo-yoing. A man with rhythms is hard to destabilize. If you've already been chasing, you can still reset without theatrics. After a week of you initiating and her drifting, you send one voice note with a smile in your tone. I like you, but I'm not for the slow fade. Let's reconnect when we're both intentional. Then you go dark. Do not monitor her stories. Do not fish with passive posts. Let your absence do what your paragraphs could not. The right woman will either rise to the level or release you. Both outcomes are mercy. When conflict pops up, misunderstood text, minor slight, you refuse to become the debating society. You say, I don't argue over text. If it matters, we'll talk. If not, we let it go. On a call, you keep your voice low and your sentences short. You own your part if you messed up. You refuse blame shifting if you didn't. If she tries the silent treatment to punish, you don't chase noise. You reward resolution. I'm here for solutions, not standoffs. When you're ready to talk, I'm a call away. Then you proceed with your day. Withdrawal stops working on men who don't need closure to function. Your posture in every scenario rests on one inner sentence. I am willing to lose her to keep myself. That's the line you say to your own heart when the pull to chase rises. It calms you. It stops the bargain. It gives you back your eyes so you can see her clearly. Where she is, not where you hope she'll be. From that grounded place, your words become simple and powerful. Invitations with boundaries, praise without worship, exits without drama. That is the quiet gravity that draws the right women and filters out the wrong ones. When did you last end a good date first because you respect your schedule? What small test have you been tolerating? Lateness, vagueness, breadcrumbing that you'll address this week with one clean sentence. If you had to choose right now, would you rather keep your standards and lose her, or lower them and keep her attention? There's a quieter battlefield you keep ignoring. The space between your invitations and her curiosity. In that space, women read the story you're telling yourself about you. If the story is, I'll do anything to keep you, she'll test. If the story is, I choose and I'm choosy, she calibrates. Your language must align with the second story. When she lobs the casual wide, at 11:42 p.m., you don't reward access that costs you sleep and self-respect. You answer the next day with warmth and gravity. Nights are for rest. If you want to see me, pick a day and we'll make it count. You didn't scold. You set a price. Boundaries framed as invitations are irresistible to someone who craves structure more than attention. Social media is the new lab for attention experiments. She posts a thirst trap and watches who jumps. You'll feel the pull to react to prove you see her. Don't compete on the wrong field. If you're seeing each other, your response is a private, grounded compliment attached to action. You look great. I'm free Thursday 7. Dressed like trouble. Attention has a cost and yours is not free. If you're not seeing each other, you don't audition with hard eyes from the cheap seats. Women don't chase men who give them what they want without asking for what they need. When she brings jealousy into the room, mentioning a guy who won't stop texting or lingering on stories of past flings, you don't fight ghosts. You remove the incentive. The line is simple. I don't do competitions. If you're decided, enjoy it. If you're undecided, you know where to find me. Then you shift the topic or you end the night on time. You'll feel the old urge to stake a claim. Resist it. Territorial panic kills attraction faster than silence. Calm certainty creates the only tension that matters. The tension of her wondering if she qualifies for your life. You'll also meet the strategist. The woman who studies you, learns your patterns, mirrors your phrases. Don't fear it. Authenticity filters mimicry. When she parrots your boundaries but her actions leak chaos, you match behavior, not words. Reduced availability, clear asks, no lectures. I'm big on follow-through. If plans change, I need a day's notice. The first time she violates it, you say, no worries, let's skip this week. The second time, you close the loop. I'm not the right fit for your pace. Detachment isn't punishment. It's the natural end of misalignment. And paradoxically, the door you close with grace is the one that swings open later with respect. If she returns improved, you'll see it in deeds, not declarations. Exes will reappear with nostalgia when your energy stabilizes. Their radar picks up your peace. Don't let the memory of chemistry override the history of inconsistency. If she reaches out, you don't time travel to the old dynamic. You set a new frame. If we reconnect, it's with clean behavior and a fresh pace. Otherwise, I wish you well. You just wrote the contract. If she balks, you don't argue with the past. You honor what you've become. This is the masculine path. You don't need revenge or access. You need integrity with your future. Here's a move that feels small but reorders everything. You normalize ending conversations first. In person, you stand and say, "I'm heading out. This was good." On text, you close threads instead of letting them bleed. Jumping into work. Talk later. On calls, you exit when the connection peaks, not when it dies. Ending first signals you're not a passenger in your own life. It trains her to value your presence because it has edges. Endless availability is the graveyard of desire. Finite access is the oxygen. When she pushes for intensity too soon, daily hours-long calls, instant nicknames, future talk by week 2, you slow the tempo without shaming the sentiment. I like this. Let's let it breathe. I move better with steady steps. You're not rejecting closeness. You're insisting on clarity. Love bombing craves control, not connection. Momentum protects you from getting high on projection. The right woman will match your stride, not demand a sprint. You need one more sentence engraved in your bones for moments of confusion. I don't chase clarity, I create it and I keep it. Creating clarity means you decide what kind of experience you offer and you communicate it early. I date with intention. I'm playful, I'm busy, and I don't manage uncertainty. Keeping clarity means you enforce what you declared. When the vibe gets murky, you reduce words and increase standards. When disrespect appears, you correct it once and act. Your yes is a yes, your no is a no. There's no third option called, maybe if I try harder. The last illusion to kill is that restraint equals boredom. Restraint, when paired with warmth and decisiveness, is magnetic. You flirt with eye contact, not essays. You ask precise questions and listen to the answers. You plan dates that reflect your taste, not her wish list. You pay attention to the woman she is when no one is watching. How she treats service staff, how she handles small disappointments, whether she keeps her word in little things, and you respond with the quiet courage to opt out when the data is bad. That's the say this that changes everything. I'm not for everyone. I am for the woman who meets me where I live. What's the one boundary you've been afraid to state because you thought it would scare her off? When was the last time you ended a text thread first to protect your focus, and how did she respond? If an ex knocked today, could you lay out a new frame without slipping into the old story? Here's the truth you keep dodging. Women don't chase words. They chase a man whose life already has a current. Your sentences only matter if they sit on top of rhythm, boundaries, and self-respect. That's why the same line sounds needy from one guy and magnetic from another. So you build the current first. Training at set hours, purposeful work windows, actual sleep, weekends with friends who don't revolve around your dating life. Then your language lands like revelation instead of a request. When she starts the "let's see" dance again, you simply say, "I like momentum. If you're in, choose a time. If not, I'm moving." That line works because you're already moving. Let's dismantle 3 manipulations and give you the exact counters. Future faking. She paints a movie trailer. We should travel. You'd love my friends. We're such a vibe, but never buys tickets. Your counter is polite and pinning. Cool. Let's start small. Thursday drinks. If we can't do that, the future talk is noise. Breadcrumbing. She drips you pings to keep you orbiting. Your counter is convert or close. Fun energy. I do better when we put something on the calendar. No calendar, no continued access. Withholding is control. She gets cold when you lean in, warm when you pull away. Your counter is steady detachment. I like affection and consistency together. If it's one without the other, I pass. You didn't punish, you priced admission. If she weaponizes silence, you don't become a noise machine. 2 clean moves exist. First, you make silence expensive. No viewing her stories, no liking, no checks. Your absence must be real. Second, if a conversation genuinely needs closure, you refuse the slow bleed with this: I don't do stalemates. We can solve this in one call, or we can let it go. You choose. If she chooses the stalemate, that's your clarity delivered. You don't build a bridge to someone building a wall. When the topic of exclusivity surfaces, remember you don't negotiate titles to fix behavior. You promote behavior into titles. If she pushes for "what are we?" while still running nightlife roulette, you answer, "I do exclusivity when our behavior is exclusive. If that's where we're heading, we'll know. If not, no hard feelings." You're not dangling commitment, you're defining it. If she's truly aligned, that sentence focuses both of you. If she's collecting attention, it exposes her inventory. Sexual pace is another testing ground. If she tries to surge intimacy fast and then uses that to tighten the leash, you don't moralize or cling. You say, I like chemistry matched with respect. We'll go as fast as our character can handle. That frame neutralizes manipulation because it ties desire to discipline. You escalate when reciprocity and reliability are present, not when intensity is offered as bait. You'll get status tests. The cool girl who brags about options, the social butterfly who counts followers, the everyone wants me, script said with a smile. You neither compete nor grovel. You ground the interaction with, options don't impress me, habits do. Show me how you show up when no one's watching.